It's a beautiful day here in Chicago, minus the sub-zero type weather. Not snowing, so that's a plus. Speaking of pluses, intro into the topic. ARG Charlotte happened this weekend, and the results were as follows. Fire Fist took 9 of the top 16 spots, followed by 4 Mermail, 1 Fire King, 1 Hoppy, and I forget the other deck. Oh man, it's not off the top of my head, I can't remember. Well, that's good. That's memorable. But anyways, the format is being defined very, very, very clearly. If you are playing one of these decks, that either being Mermail or Fire Fist, most likely Fire Fist, the +1 version, it's you're playing let's face it, you're playing the best deck of the format by far. Why? Like I said earlier in my first video, it is just too damn consistent. Consistency wins. Consistency is very, very good. So, that being said, going forward, the format, obviously, we'll see coming up in the next bigger tournaments, to say the least. But, I mean, I can't see why any other deck will overthrow Fire Fist and their dominance. It's the best deck of the format. Now, granted, it did not win the Charlotte event. It was Mermail, piloted by Patrick Hoban. Oh, by the way, it was Hieratic Rulers. That was the other deck. It was Ben Leverett's brother. Well, nevertheless, it's Fire Fist, man. Fire Fist is the best deck of the format. It's settled. That's the format. And like every other format before that, in the beginning, you always see a plethora of you see a plethora of different decks, a variety of decks. Why? Because people are still feeling out the format. Eventually, the better deck surfaces, and most likely in a copycat league like everyone is, the desire to win overtakes creativity, hence why people run the most consistent deck of the format, because they want to win. So, yeah, Fire Fist, that's their format, boys. I'll tell you this, though. Going into next format, looking forward, going into the format coming up, I don't see Tanky surviving at 3. Granted, that's obvious. They're probably going to put it to 1, I hope. Does that kill consistency of other decks? Yes. But the Fire Fists right now are too strong. You just go Fire Fist Tanky, search out your bear, you got a removal, and you got your searcher to get the other Tanky out to get more of the bear to do the same thing. Oh, by the way, if you get that, you can get the Wolf Bark, Bear's Dies, you can exceed, go crazy. So obviously, there's not much more to be said. Fire Fist are the deck. You wonder this game, where the trajectory it's going. It seems to be very repetitive. It's a repetitive type of game. Again, beginning, like I said earlier, first major event, you see a variety of decks. Then, you always see a large quantity of the best deck. It's no different. We shouldn't be surprised to that. But at the same time, it does kind of kill the sense of the fun of the game, I guess. You're always going to see Fire Fist. But if you're going to be competitive, expect to see a lot of people playing the best deck of the format. They want the best chance to win. Now, granted, Fire Fist did not win the entire event. It was Mermail. But, that's to be expected. The majority, the dominant deck of the day, Fire Fist won out. In my opinion, Fire Fist showed their true colors. They showed their consistency. And they showed the fact that they can run Thunder King and they can run a bunch of back row, just biting everything else in the ass. So So anyways, not much else to talk about. I hope everyone, if you guys went to the event, I hope it was very cool. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed listening and then thinking about what's going to happen. But again, there's another topic I want to cover about this event. I'm not done talking about the event, but for like what happened in the event, okay, it's been talked about. But at the same time, I have my own qualms about the Circuit Series. But again, we'll get to that to a later date. That's for another time. Right now, I'm just going to sign out. If you haven't already, I know if you've seen this video, why don't we go over to Yugi514's channel and subscribe to him. He's a good guy. I've known him for a while. Yeah, definitely subscribe to his channel, and also subscribe to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council if you haven't already. They're some good dudes, some good videos. They do a lot of stock market watches. So if you like seeing the price of the cards, they're very informative on what cards are rising and what cards are falling. And again, I think it's a very good informative channel, and go definitely check it out. And by the way, if you haven't already, which most of you have not yet, because I am a very new channel, please definitely subscribe to me. There's going to be some good stuff coming up. I'm pretty excited about it. Anyway, this is net decking for the win, FTW.